Dear viewers, good morning and a warm welcome to Oweleketv. This is Outnumbered, and as you know, we bring you all the top stories across different newspapers in Nigeria. I'm not alone in the studio. I'm with Antonia, I'm with Michael, and I am Rachel Abioye. Antonia, good morning.
Good morning, Rachel.
You look good.
Thank you. You look good too.
Thank you. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Rachel.
Yeah. So, how are you preparing for the holidays?
Very well.
Hopefully, they'll do a bag of rice shared by you.
Oh, we pray.
You're already dressed in the spirit.
Right. So, let's just go straight into it. The first newspaper we have right here this morning is Daily Trust. And on Daily Trust newspaper, says Port Harcourt refinery begins operation after Christmas. This is coming from the minister. Still on the Daily Trust newspaper, 88% of Nigerians self-employed, says MBS. NNPP supporters resort to prayers as Supreme Court reserves judgment. Still on the Nation's newspaper, the big story here says low turnout, lack of cash, federal government 50% discount for travelers. You'd recall that the federal government talked about transportation subsidy for those who will be traveling. You know, you want to travel, they tried cutting down the cost. And for train, they gave free rides. So now we're hearing that low turnout, lack of cash, federal government 50% discount for travelers. Another story says 5 million commuters targeted for support. This is coming from Information Minister. 5 companies approved for logistics. Ricketing returns to Regasal train station. The last story I'll be taking here this morning on the Daily Trust newspaper says CBN investigator uncovers 593 foreign accounts opened by Emefiele. That's our big story. So we'll bring you that story shortly. Antonia, over to you.
All right, thank you, Rachel. Good morning once again, viewers. So on the Punch newspaper, Vice Presidents, governors raise panels on crude oil theft economy. And we can find that story on page 21 of the Punch newspaper. $11 billion judgment, PNID loses bid to appeal Nigeria's victory. That story is on page 42 of the Punch newspaper. Another story we have here is that TINUBU threatened Fubara to sign resolution. Ex-commissioner alleges. You can find that story on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. Now, our big story on the Punch newspaper is Emefiele operated 593 illegal US, UK, and China accounts, says CBN investigator. And it also states here under the story that the foreign accounts were operated without the board's approval. 26 trillion naira ways and means fraud uncovered. Also says that Emefiele, Buhari's aide, and 12 CBN directors will face trial. 2 are currently detained over $6.23 million theft. Another story we have here is that Port Harcourt refinery to process 60,000 barrels daily after repairs. This is quite commendable, stemming from the fact that they've already announced that more refineries will start working. The Warri refinery and the one in Kaduna will start working from next year. So we're hopeful that they keep to this quantity they're promising they'll produce. Now, Kaduna tops as Police Service Commission shortlists 416,270 for police job. That story is on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. Nigerians divided as bishops kick against blessing same-sex marriage. We can find that story on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. And the last story before we move, passengers storm train stations, interstate luxury buses, cut fares. And that's it on the Punch newspaper this morning.
Thank you, Antonia. Over to you, Michael.
Yeah, from the Guardian newspaper this morning, how Supreme Court reserves judgment in Kano gubernatorial case. That is comment from the Supreme Court. And of course, still on the Guardian newspaper, as their big story, Nigeria, the making of human rights abuse heaven. It's coming on the heels that, many human rights have been abused here in Nigeria, and it seems everybody are coming, all of them are hiding under the Nigeria because this is not obtainable, in the well-developed and organized society. So we wish that we correct this image about Nigeria regarding human rights. And still on the Guardian newspaper, passengers stranded as 50% transportation rebate scheme stalls. That was what we were talking about yesterday. How is this thing going to work? What's the process? What are the laid down things to fix all of this? It's obvious that, many passengers will be stranded because you are not going front, you are not going back. You don't even know if you have to pay the full money. You don't know whether you have to pay the slash money that the federal government had intervened. So we wish that this can be arranged so that those that want to travel, can actually reach their destination. TINUBU's wife launches 950 million support scheme for elderly. Again, the process. Again, what's the data? Again, how do you want to actualize this? Again, who are the people that will be doing this? Because we've always seen this kind of interventions and then it seems not really, really, really working. But we hope that this may actually make sense this time around and becomes a different. That's a much I can tell on the Guardian newspaper. We can ask a vendor to get, more details on the paper.
Okay, so the last story we'll be taking this morning on the Nation's newspaper, the last newspaper rather, we'll be taking before we go right into the big story for today. On the Nation's newspaper, 11 Supreme Court justices designate may be sworn in next week. You can find that on page 2 of the Nation's newspaper. Still on the Nation's cash crunch, CBN lawmakers warn POS operators. Banks, farmers linked to shortage. You can find that on page 7 of the Nation's newspaper. Still on the Nation's, TINUBU will make Nigeria safe, Minister assures. Well, we hope so. Ekiti workers to get 15,000 Naira wage award for 6 months. You can find that on page 27. And lastly, passengers overwhelm free interstate yield-out train service. That's the last story I'll be taking on the Nation's newspaper this morning. Let's quickly go on a short break, and when we return, we'll be bringing you the big story talking about Emefiele. I know you're itching to get our views, so just sit back, sit tight after the break.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleketv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back from that break. It's still outnumbered on Oweleketv. I am Rachel Abie, and I have here with me Antonia and Michael. So on the big story this morning, it's a really big story. If you check all the pages of the newspaper, all front covers of newspapers this morning, you'll see the big story there talking about Emefiele and the illegal accounts he opened in the UK, China, and other countries. Over 500 illegal accounts. Let me read this little information to you. It says the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, talking about Godwin Emefiele, is accused of unlawfully depositing billions of naira in around 593 bank accounts spread across the United States, United Kingdom, and China. According to Jim OBAZE'S, special investigator for President BOLA and TINUBU, Emefiele allegedly initiated the opening of these accounts without proper approval from the CBN's Board of Directors and Investment Committee. Well, I'm surprised they are saying no proper approval. I mean, if you want to do something illegal, do you need approval from anybody? So I'm surprised you're expecting him to take approval from anybody. So still on this story, OBAZE'S final report titled Reports of the Special Investigation of CBN and Related Entities, Chargeable Offences, submitted to TINUBU uncovered that Emefiele deposited huge amounts of money in fixed deposits in UK banks alone, all without proper authorization. Emefiele, currently detained in KUJE prison, faces allegations of 1.2 billion procurement fraud. With the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, they granted him bail of 300 million naira, but he is yet to fulfill or meet the bail conditions. Interesting. Different countries, fixed deposits with Nigerian money. You'd recall the cash crunch, the Naira redesign money, the cash scarcity, which is coming back again. Remember what Nigerians went through. Ashe, our money was in fixed deposits in different accounts, because I don't even know what to say right now. Nigerians were suffering like that. I think that was early this year or middle this year. Early this year, January, yeah. There was no money. We were using money to buy money, our own money. And we're talking about people who stocked up cash in their houses, politicians who stocked up millions of naira, and the money, got spoiled, got rotted, and it was during that cash crunch that different things started coming out. And now we're hearing that the former governor of the CBN, had money in fixed deposits outside the country, different countries, billions of naira, without proper approval or authorization. I mean, I don't know what to say. Antonia, when you saw this news, what was your reaction? Were you surprised? Because for me, it's not coming as a surprise, even though it's still coming as a surprise. But it's not coming as a surprise because these are Nigerian leaders. This is what they are known for. Most of them, this is what they are known for. So it wasn't really coming as a surprise. But my question is this. Do you think only Emefiele can just sit and handle all of these things? How did he push the money? They were saying no proper approval, no proper authorization. How did he push the money into this account? Did he just single-handedly carry the money, go to the bank and throw it there? All of this thing, fixed deposit, these billions of naira, and it is just coming out now. How did we not know? How did no one in CBN, the entire CBN government, know about this? I mean, what was your reaction like, and what do you have to say about this?
Okay, so first of all, when I saw the story, I had mixed reactions. So, like you said, not surprised, but surprised. Because why did it take this long for us to uncover this? From January till now, this is December, and now we're experiencing another cash crunch. Now, back to what you said, this could not have been done by Emefiele alone. And as in the news, we saw that 12 other CBN directors are currently will be detained. They are also going down. And also the presidential aide to former President Muhammadu Buhari. This is obviously something that had been worked out, carefully schemed, planned, and arranged. And they just brought up that Naira redesign to just cover up everything. They had this all figured out. They had it all figured out. Because now we're seeing, the special investigator is saying that 61.5 billion naira was allocated for printing of new naira notes, and 31.7 billion naira was being paid. Do you understand? Was being paid as at the time they started. And now you're coming up with saying the board was not aware of who granted your approval. The CBN, the governor of the CBN does not work in isolation. He doesn't just make directives on his own. So definitely before any directive comes out, there ought to have been a discussion, a roundtable discussion, looking at how it would affect the Nigerian economy. And now we're finding out that cash is being stashed in foreign accounts all over the world. Fixed deposits for that matter. It's really sad. It's appalling.
Okay, thank you, Antonia. Michael, so I believe you've seen the story and you've gone through it. Now, this is my question. We talked about the Abacha loots, and we keep hearing Abacha loots, and they keep recovering money from different persons, people who stole, Nigerian money. They keep recovering this money. But the question is, what do they do with this money? Now, this is my question to you. They've uncovered this fraud by the former governor of the CBN. What do you think should be the next step the government should be doing? What do you think, okay, if they recover this money, what should be done? How should they go about it? Because just like we said, there was no proper approval from anybody. Do you think the government will also do the right thing if they finally recover this money?
Yeah, I think I'll start with, when I was a child, I used to imagine, how do they cut money? Who are those people in charge of, generating money? Like, I took them to be like, people like Jesus. They're like high people that, holy people, people that have, you understand that kind of thing. Because you are in control of what people are looking for. You're in control of what people are suffering for. You're in control of what people are killing people for, doing ritual for. Yeah. Like, that is what you're in control of. So I had the imagination that these are the sort of people that are sent from heaven to Nigeria. They are God sent.
Especially to deliver.
So first of all, I would say that it is devastating. It is disappointing. Like they have lost the integrity of a highest bank in Nigeria, like CBN. Like they have lost trust. Like the stories coming in every day. The story keep on getting interesting. It was not just about redesigning of Naira. It was not just about the 1 trillion Naira that now we are talking of taking our money outside the covers of Nigeria. So this also exposed how the government of Buhari was so weak. Like the president was is the most useless president. Sorry to say this. Because it's a president that under your covers, people are bringing letter to you, you are signing. You don't even have an idea. If you read the letter, you understand that the letter that were coming was either fake or the presidential. They just told the president.
I think it's something they all did.
It was just sitting there as a head. People, his head is presidential whatever. They were the ones running all of this thing. So it also shows how he was the emptiness of government of Buhari. Because as a president, you ought to be in charge. How can this morning? How can these things be happening in your administration and you're not aware? Look at the mess that you put in Nigeria. All of us had the imagination that Buhari, like the redesign of the NAIRA is the Buhari thing, like that Buhari is really involved. But just look at the story coming in. So few people, about 2, 3, 9 people, sat down, thought of it. Like the report, the report is like they thought of it. That is the idea. Over the millions sacrificing the tens of millions of Nigeria. So it's worrisome how Emefiele have reduced our Central Bank of Nigeria to. The worst of him being at KUJE prison is even the least. Worst should be done on him. So that people can be to take our institutions very strong. We're talking of INEC, talking of all this Supreme Court and all of this. You see how our institutions are getting weak to the point of a CBN. So it's worrisome, sad. Like it's something that, oh my God.
Okay, Michael, you still didn't answer my question. In your thoughts, you're talking about Buhari's government, how weak and how whatever he was. Let's talk about Tinubu's government now. Now, okay, the fraud is out. This is what it made. But the thing is, we're talking about Buhari and how weak. But every government that comes in, they're always uncovering one fraud or the other.
Absolutely.
It's not. This is what, in fact, in Tinubu's, after Tinubu leaves,
the next president.
The next person is going to uncover.
Rachel, the detention of Emefiele should even tell you that at least, because this is Nigeria, that many people do things and then go away with it. How would you?
So you think Emefiele cannot go away with this?
Let it be. We are happy that he's on trial. We are happy that the report from the investigators I don't think this investigator did not bring this report. Me and you know that we wouldn't have.
But Michael, this is what I'm saying. I'm still insisting on the fact that many investigations are always coming out. Many uncovering. They keep uncovering and uncovering. Now they've uncovered this one. What do you think should be the what should we expect from this government? Okay, they've uncovered this. What should be the next thing Tinubu and the federal government should be doing now?
Yeah, the effort put by the government to uncover, what Emefiele did is step in the right direction. And we are only hoping, that they will also use this energy to make sure that, he faces the law. He faces every letters of the law regarding this matter. That, to me, is left to the court. Because you are still talking of the Supreme Court about the election. Because the whole matter will still go to the court. You cannot take Emefiele and go and shoot. You cannot go and shoot Emefiele now to die. He has to be tried. He has to be convinced. The court has to do their job. So it's not going back to the Supreme Court, or the court, whatever court that is handling this issue. And they should be able to understand that the future of Nigeria is at stake on this matter. We have to start correcting some of these mistakes so that people can know.
Well, I hope the judiciary won't fail us this time because
they have enough time to prove their integrity.
Wow, we've given them so many second chances. The election.
So
yes. What chance do we call this now?
Maybe the 100
last chance. Well, okay, so that's it on our number this morning. And what are your thoughts? What do you think about this Emefiele's issue? How you think they pay you for body? Drop your comments on our comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. And this is what we're going to be wrapping it up on our number this morning on Oweleketv. Please join us again next time on Outnumbered, and happy holidays. My name is Rachel Abioye. I have Antonia and I have Michael here with me. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
See you again. Bye.